So I'm going to show you how to clean up clams that I call like a butterfly cleaning method. And these are razor clams, and you can see that they're pretty nice sized razor clams here today. And what you need to do, what I do at least, is that I cut off the neck, just a little piece of it. And sometimes I'll save those for purchasing later on. And you can see that there's two holes, one at the top, one at the bottom. I'll take my knife and put it right through the bottom hole, and I'll squeeze the clam shells just a little bit. Put my knife all the way through, kind of work it up a little bit, squeeze the shell a little bit, and right through. And so you can see it comes right through the middle. And then since the clam shells are just kind of separated a little bit, I'm going to take my thumb in, work the shells apart, and then I'm going to take the knife, bring it right up against the shell, so I can cut that muscle in there that keeps the shells together. So those are loose, they're on that side. And then I'm going to go to the other side and work my thumb between the membrane and the clam. Work that loose. And again, I'm going to take my knife and squeeze it right up against the shell on both sides. So I cut that muscle again, and then the clam comes loose instead of the shell. I'll put this over there. You can see where those two muscles are. I'm going to take those muscles and pop them right out. And I'm usually kind of run a little bit of water, but it kind of makes a lot of noise, so I'm going to run it, and then I'm going to turn the water off, but clean those up a little bit, and put those away and ready. Okay, so now you have this nice butterfly type of clam, and you want to try to get rid of all the little brown parts, the gills and all these parts here. So what I do is just kind of take it, you can take your scissors, but I just kind of squeeze it off, twist it, and then pull them apart. So I have two separate pieces, one that looks like this, and then the one the foot like this that has most of that stuff on there. Okay, for this one I usually clean it up by just putting a little water, and I usually have water running all the time, but it makes too much noise for this video, so I'm going to turn it off in between when I'm doing it. And just kind of rinse it between my two hands, rub it a little bit, try to get all the sand, a little bit, work some of the membrane loose, pull it off. And so I have a pretty nice piece of clam meat, a little bit of round part that I can pull off, or just cut off with scissors. And then I'm going to put that over there, ready to go. Then I'm going to take the foot. You can see all this that I need to take off. So I'm going to just cut it off with scissors. Kind of cut it around. Okay, so you have it pretty well all cut up. And then right through the top here, this top section, I'm just going to cut through there. You see all this brown part, I'm going to just scrape it off with my thumb. Throw that away. And again, I'm going to run some water. And normally I will just have just a little bit of water running all the time, but it's just kind of hard to hear over what I'm talking about when I'm doing the video. So I'm going to turn the water off in between time. I'm just going to try to work all that stuff off, that brown membranes, and I get this nice clean little foot. Okay. So that's how I do what I call a butterfly type of clammy razor clam cleaning. So I'm going to go through it real quick again, and again I'm going to just cut off the top. There's two holes. I'm going to put my knife through the bottom hole, right here on this bottom one. I'm going to squeeze the shell a little bit, bring my knife all the way through, work it up a little bit, and if I have a really nice sharp knife, then it goes up pretty quick. And there. Then since it spreads the shell farther apart, I can put my thumb in there and work the membrane across, so I can loosen it up a little bit, and work my knife in there. Cut that one muscle right next to the clam shell, then cut the upper muscle, and that side's loose. Again, work my thumb against the membrane and the shell. Work the knife right against the shell. Cut that loose. Clam is free out of the shell. There's those two kind of muscles that just kind of pop out. They're almost like scallops. And I'm going to rinse those off. Get some of the sand and all this other stuff out. And then I'm going to separate the neck part. So I'm going to have something like this. I'm going to rinse that off. take some of the membranes off if I can. Like I said, I can always clean up this a little later on. I need to clean up a little bit more, but this is the first part. Then you have this foot part. You have all this kind of brownish colored membrane that you're going to clip off with scissors. And then clip right at the top. Take all this other brown stuff off. Throw that away. And again, rinse. And that's how I clean clams, with what I call like the butterfly cleaning method. There you go.